Good morning boys and girls, welcome. How we all doing? Move this out of the way. Alrighty. Oh, there's an update to the add-on. Alrighty, we'll get to that in a minute. I'm hella late this morning. Not prepared in the slightest, but how is everybody doing? Welcome, welcome. My coffee club coming out in force. Appreciate the support, boys and girls. Thank you. Welcome, welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you. Where's the watch this video for tips on how to make $1 million gold an hour? I just didn't get my clickbait strong enough today, did I? No, I didn't. Oh well. Maybe next time. Just restocked up on mats for 3 million, planning to retire after tomorrow. Might as well go out with a bang. Yo, I have a sneaky suspicion that tomorrow could be a little bit mad. Those that have managed to get to rank 4s tomorrow are going to see all of the fruits of their labour come true, I believe. Considering that only people that had success with their mission table are running around with rank 4s right now, but with another week's worth of Torghast available to people, that will change very quickly. That will change very quickly. I am, for the most part, pretty much stocked up. In terms of the fact that I have the inventory that I like to maintain, which is 2 of every single item. There is one significant downside that I too have burnt virtually all of my gold in doing just that, and that is to restock and get everything planned and prepped for tomorrow. So we're actually going to spend less time in the auction house today, simply because there's very little I can do in the auction house with no gold to be able to throw at it. I think we are going to work on probably some other aspects of goal making, which for me is going to be getting another couple of characters to 60. That's going to be super important, I feel. Just having those characters at 60 means that I can start working on their renown and, you know, keep them somewhat up to speed. And I kind of want to now start transitioning into actually playing the game. For somebody that streams this game like 5, 6, 7 days a week, it's quite remarkable how much of the game I just have not played, and it's quite interesting. The other big goblins on my server have virtually all now worked out who I am, and realised that my entire point of view is broadcast across the internet. And they've all become relatively friendly towards me on the basis of this. Which is lucky, because it could have gone one way or the other. They could have realised that, oh, he has a publicly available spreadsheet which tells me exactly what legendaries he can create. It even goes as far as telling me exactly what his restocking is looking like. They could have just, you know, denied all knowledge and used it to their advantage and to play the game against me, but I think now, close to, well, there's only one other major goblin on right now, but it's worthwhile getting to know the other big goblins on your realm, I think. As we've all sort of we all started to rally against one guy yesterday that was trying to crash prices. How do you separate the legendary ranks into separate groups on TSM? Well, it requires you to actually be able to craft that item first. You need to do it by having the item in the bag. And then when you go to Trade Skill Master, you can go into the groups, and then you'll have this ungrouped items in bag list. That will then allow you to then just make a group and put an item from the ungrouped items into there. So it does actually require you to have the item crafted. No need to own the items. I wouldn't risk. I don't trust TSM as far as I can throw it with something like that. Even if you can go to the base group and go, let's say bone, hide. See, if if I search the base group for bonehide, I would not recommend using the base group search function. I just would not recommend. Wait until you can craft the item. You don't need to put it in a group anyway. And like I said, I don't trust TSM as far as I can throw it right now. Just got burnt out on by the cancel wars. Not to mention margins are getting slimmer. Not touching the auction house until next patch. The cancel wars are going to be pretty. Did I type in Umbra Shatter? Well, I meant Bone Shatter. I'm still tired. I've not consumed a single drop of coffee yet today, so take everything that I say with a pinch of salt, because I'm still tired AF. You have them in a group so they don't show up there. Yeah, but we're talking about the different individual ranks. I don't have them in a group. That's the point. Like there are nothing above rank 1 do I have for male. So if Manthieus was super awesome, he would have made one of every Lego of every rank on beta to get the groups done for us. But you know he didn't because reasons like time and stuff. Meh. Well, yeah, yeah. Not to mention getting a hold of materials was a pain in the ass on the beta. God damn, next time we have an expansion launch, if Blizzard doesn't give us a materials vendor for testing with, I'm gonna scream. Hopefully, by the time we have a new expansion, my channel and my presence may be known by Blizzard enough so that if I start complaining, they might just put one in. But that's still very much wishful thinking. Right, let's get all these cancels out. Actually, no, I like to do a complete clean sweep of the auction house every morning, just to get everything, get the restock timers reset, just to, in essence, make sure that everything is back to a 48-hour listing, just in case, just in case weird things happen. Evening, Kieran. Welcome, welcome. Alright, let's get these listed then. Go. Oh, actually, before we do a go, I want to just quickly check the price of materials right now. Check to see if anything weird and wonderful has changed. Callous hide has maintained its price from last night, along with heavy callous hide. Quantity wise, there's very slim pickings until you get to like 1700 gold. That's the price point I think I'm going to focus on, because all of this could just disappear within seconds, and it usually does. It's almost like people are watching. So yeah, I'm not going to post things based on these prices, because these are not reliable, especially going into Wednesday madness. We're going to then choose to set our callous price somewhere around, see, now that's not actually too bad of a price. I might leave it where it is. Okay, so callous is good. Let's check a lithium. Sub 200 gold. Is it available sub 200 in quantity though? No, not in the slightest. We could hoover up all of that quite comfortably until we get to 220, I would say, is a fair price for a single lithium, or at least it will be by tomorrow. Lithium ore, we've got it set at 200 right now. Let's up that just a touch. Not that the lithium one matters, it's the enchanted one that really matters. So that would be 440, wouldn't it? We'll go 430, because I know most of what I've already got I've picked up cheaper than that. And finally, let's look at lightless silk. What's this doing? Is this down to within the 60s still? Still within the 60s. to buy it individually. Spinning it round into the enchanted though, we're very quickly gonna get to a 70-75 gold a piece, which would make it 150 for the enchanted minimum. 150, 160, 180 up to 200. Yeah, there's really not a huge quantity of that there. So, lightless. Lightless, enchanted lightless. Oh no, we're in crafts. We need to be in materials. 80 and 160. I think those are still fair prices to base the listing on. Cool. Cool. Let's just do a quick shadow ghast. Because whilst it's not a main material, the price of this does usually have quite an effect on the price of blacksmithing, at least. Next expansion, we're going to the actual worst place, and that's Earth. Likely. 2020 Earth. There we go. Shadowghast ingots. It's interesting we can buy so many of them at 100 gold a piece. It's really difficult. I know full well that if I just go and buy the materials to make Shadowghast ingots, I can probably get them for 80 gold a piece. Because that's why people are selling them for 100 gold a piece. Because there's no reason not to make at least 20 gold each time. So that means my Shadowghast ingot price would be 80 gold, and it is. And I've got a fair whack of them because I made a bunch yesterday. Nice. Guess those goblins will be raiding the SP 500 then. That's probably how it's going to be. I'm wondering if I genuinely wonder if they're going to see what has happened and witness the ludicrous amounts of gold that people have had to throw at these professions, and I wonder if in Blizzard's eyes it's a success or a failure, because it's very quickly come to a position, and I said this right from the beginning, that the entire legendary crafting market will only be held by proper goblins, and has realistically only been held by like big goblins. The more casual gold crafter, or the more casual gold maker, or even gold crafter, however you want to categorize it, has had very, very little opportunity to actually make any gold with these legendary crafting at all. Simply by just how much gold you need to be willing to throw at it to get it leveled up and to do it quickly. Making the rich ultra rich and the poor more poor. But the interesting thing is it doesn't make the poor more poor. The ones that are actually rolling around laughing with multiple millions of gold right now are probably people that have spent the last 4 weeks skinning. The people that are spending just an hour a day skinning are like probably multi-millionaires just on an hour a day skinning. Now, the difficulty with that always is, and the difficulty I always try and emphasize to people when it comes to farming, is the very second you stop farming, you stop making gold. Whereas with legendary crafting, I could not craft a single legendary for a couple of weeks and still be getting sales on my inventory every day with just a 5-minute relist of items. Like that, literally, it took me 20 seconds to list a whole bunch of items, and I sold a rank 4 cape. Just bang. Not even a farmer can make 20k gold that quick. So whilst I reckon in Blizzard's eyes, they probably see this as a success. Because everybody's had a fair shot at making some moolah. Whether that's even a list of criteria on their development boards is debatable, but yeah, but you don't actually make 20k. Yes, it's revenue, sure. Rank 4 cape, 20k. That highlights server difference. They go for 80 on my server. 20k is still above cost, like miles above cost. And yet we, maybe not you, crafters are rolling in millions more liquid than the farmers, but obviously need them for the businesses. Yeah, that's true. I'm still very heavily in the reinvest stage though. I would probably, if I hadn't taken all of Christmas off, I would probably be rank 4 across the board now and would be out of the reinvestment phase and just literally printing gold every day. Your cloth prices are more than half mine. Well, it was it's almost a like I said. There's probably, I'm trying to do the names in my head so I don't really sort of out anybody as being. There's probably 4 major goblins that play on our realm right now, and I'm the only one out of those that doesn't have everything maxed. So it's come to a point where the top goblins on our realm are now pretty much just selling. As long as they sell at a profit, it's all Gucci. So yeah, lots of things are floating. There's still 10-20% profit in every single sale, but selling an 80k for a rank 4 cape just means that you've got that corner of the market cornered. If that's the way to phrase it. I've maxed leatherworking and sat around 7 million. Think there's any point maxing blacksmithing and tailoring when I've not started yet? Tailoring, you could literally throw a couple of million gold at it and get it maxed really quickly, but be aware of the fact that because you can do that, anybody else can also do that. Tailoring is easily the cheapest one to get up and running. As you've seen just there, even rank 4s are going for like 20k right now in my realm. Yeah, it's one of those that, I mean, to be honest, it depends. That 7 million today could, and if you reinvest half of that, you could end up with 20 million by the end of next month, or you could end up back with 7 million. It's like if you just having that gold sat in your bags is probably not doing anything other than giving you a nice warm feeling inside. So it's up to you how you spend it, but don't blow all of it trying to, invest wisely. You must know how the game works, at least in somewhat, to have maxed leatherworking and to have 7 million gold. So. Meanwhile, the other 4 are Little Fish thinks he's one of us, lol. Sorry if attacking you a lot this morning. No, it's true. No, it's true. One of the other guys I was speaking to was actually in a very similar position to me when we went into Shadowlands. He had like he claimed he had about 80k gold, but he just went. He was one of the ones on our server that went heavy on Dark Moon cards, so he made like 10 million gold in the first couple of days on Dark Moon cards, and it's that 10 million gold that then gave him a huge head start in leatherworking, to the point where he's then got all of those early bird sales as well. He was just one that went the right path. In hindsight, I took the wrong approach to the start of the expansion. The right approach for me would have been spend the first 3 days making Dark Moon cards like an absolute idiot. Have 3 days worth of Dark Moon card sales in my back pocket. arguably probably close to gold cap, then use that gold cap to dump into leatherworking. But this was all before we really understood just how expensive leatherworking was going to be. I knew it was going to cost a lot. I mean, it's ridiculous because the amount of time on the beta that I spent skinning to work out just how rare these heavy callus hides were going to be. I knew very, very early days that they were going to be rare and they were going to be expensive. And I did my best to tell people. The only person that didn't really listen was me, which was a bit stupid in hindsight. And so going into Shadowlands with like 1.4 million, expecting to just casually be able to level up leatherworking was something I probably should have seen to not be the case. But Darkmoon cards were great. Got from 3 mil to 8 mil, then invested in Legos, and now sitting on 20 mil. Exactly. That would have been the perfect approach to it. I went with the idea of that, right, I'll get a character to 60 first, because obviously having a character to 60 was super important to me, and if I was crafting Darkmoon cards all day, I might not have even got a character to 60 in the first week, which would have been real sad face, because then I'd have been, what I felt, behind the curve for legendaries. But in reality, what actually happened was that I ended up being behind the curve with legendaries, not for the fact that I didn't have my characters leveled, by the fact that I just did not have enough liquid gold to throw at it. And you saw from a good few days, and I'm still kind of at that point now, where I'm still having to reinvest every single bit of gold I make with the legendaries to get them leveled up. I was first to market with Darkmoon decks. Market was really bad on my realm the first few days. It was interesting. People had gone into it thinking that they weren't going to be all that. And so, yeah, it doesn't surprise me that there was less interest in them. But it's kind of it's one of those. If somebody's dangling a carrot in front of you, even if you don't know how good that carrot tastes, you still want it, kind of thing. And when some people were buying their Darkmoon trinkets and running around, and they had, like, you'd go into dungeons and you'd inspect people, and they had, wow, you've got a 200 item level trinket, and the rest of your gears are item level 135. That alone started to push the demand for people to buy them. And the matter of the fact being is that you couldn't use them till you hit 60. So the very first couple of days, unless you had people that really went ham on their main characters, the average player wasn't even able to use a Darkmoon trinket for a few days anyway. The weekend after launch, before that, sales were not great. Yeah, you'd get that odd occasional 300k sale for a Darkmoon trinket in the first few days, but like I said, they were from the hardcore that powered to 60 within like the first 24 hours. And I still think I've done pretty well in comparison to a lot of people, considering I have not sold a single Darkmoon, or I've not crafted a single Darkmoon deck this expansion. Do we know how we're going to get rank 5 legendaries? It's nothing more than speculation. Blizzard haven't even said there will be a rank 5 legendary. We're only guessing that something like that will happen. It seems the logical thing to do, but of course, not always does logic prevail in this game. So, right, now everything's on there. A quick cancel scan just to see if anybody's awake this morning. I just hope it won't be locked behind a rep grind. Well, I also hope that at least on my main character I'll have all of the reps Exalted before the first patch anyway. This is kind of one thing I want to get on top of, really, is actually playing the game just so that I'm in a point that if something like that does happen, that I'm not weeks and weeks behind. It's interesting because I genuinely feel like they might put stuff behind reputation. They might put it behind exalted reputation with somebody, simply because nobody's got any nobody's got any focus on the reputations right now, other than maybe to pick up a few bits of transmog or a mount or something. I want the Crafter's Mark rank 3. I've not even got rank 2 yet. It's been probably 2 weeks since I've even stepped foot in the moor. So yeah. Very close to exalted with a Night Fae. Yeah, people are going to be getting there right now. People are going to be getting there. Aha, we've disconnected. I really hope they keep rank 4 as a requirement to make rank 5, but there's a good chance they won't. Well, it depends. It depends how long it takes them for the first patch. It really does depend how long it takes them for the first patch. Mainly because whilst rank 4s are going to be pretty much exclusive to goblin-y goblins, for the short term, the likelihood is that once the demand for the legendaries drops off, and the main goblins are already rank 4 all over the place, what's actually going to happen is that the material price is just going to go down and down and down and down, meaning that it will be cheaper for new people or the rest of the the people that want to get their legendaries leveled up to be able to sort of at a more realistic cost get their things ranked up. I mean, right now it's about a 2 million gold investment to get tailoring maxed. It's not a huge amount considering the fact that you can basically get 50k gold an hour without much trouble right now, if you want to. So it will equalize itself out, I think. But I want to spend a bit of time this morning getting this dude up in levels. Now I'm wondering whether. Oh no, okay, that's fine. I was trying to remember whether this guy was Threads of Fate or not, and he is. So. But getting this dude to 60 will be quite helpful, because then I can sort of get him geared up and he'll be more effective at skinning. Hey, free skin, look. I'll take it. Now I've got to remember what I'm doing here. Big handsome Pete. Well, there's a man that knows he's good looking. Welcome, welcome. Did I not skin that? I did. It confuses me nowadays because not always do the skins disappear. I am still very much enjoying my Demon Hunter though. This is a class that, although I don't ever foresee myself maining a Demon Hunter, what I do see is having a lot of fun with a Demon Hunter. That is absolutely for sure. Simply because their swirly whirliness is just kind of really contagious. Their swirly whirliness is really contagious. My choice of words sometimes baffles even me. Free skin, yoink. Do I have any proper leather on this dude already? We've got 4 heavy callus hides on this dude already. I feel the people who invest in Legos before demand drops that's in Dark Moon markets. I've noted, yeah, that's it. Like a lot of new people. It's one of those, isn't it, that people have now done their Mythic Plus for a couple of weeks. They've kind of got their raid schedule down. They're looking for other things to do again. People are like, oh, maybe I'll craft some legendaries. That seems to be. I've seen a whole bunch of people saying that they've made 50 million gold in Shadowlands off legendaries. Maybe I'll have some of that. I mean, that's very common. Yo, something here's. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's these horses that are doing work on me. This is why I don't like Bastion. Can we get rid of this dude? Thank you, see you later. Yeah, piss off, you're annoying. What was that? 6 out of summon. 6 out of summon. Ooh, sound in background needs to be on. Sound in background. Ho it and I didn't know it. Did my usual investing in bottlenecked mats in advance of reset last Wednesday. Didn't really see a spike like previous weeks though, hoping this week makes up for it. Still holding lots. Yeah, I've noticed you've got a fair few materials on your toon on my server. I think Christmas obviously had a big part to play with it. Christmas being a big part to play with it, and the fact that whilst rank 4s were technically possible, for the majority, probably not still. If you simply are only doing Torghast, then Lego's rank 4s weren't still a thing. So it was almost, I feel like, or at least this is what I'm hoping, and is equally been reiterated by a few people already. That last week's reset was almost like a reset off. It's like a week off, maybe because there was a big festive event or something, you know, who knows. But it definitely had an effect on the player base and people's, you know, how they were doing things, what they were buying. Saying that though, I didn't literally do a single cancel scan or repost over the Christmas period, and still came back to 2 million gold in my in my mailbox. So some people were still definitely buying, that's for sure. Ooh, a heavy callous hide. Yoink. Oh, and this dude's not a skinner either. Even better. Take all his free loot. Well, if he's not a skinner. Mostly only savage goblins in the market. Yeah, this is it. And of course they're unlikely to be the ones that, unless they sell out, are going to be doing. They're unlikely to be restocking on the crazy day. They're just focused on selling. Enter the building. Where are we going here then? Oh, what character? Oh, this dude's still only 56. He's getting there. He's getting there. He'll be good. Did you change your operations to not be 48 hours? I didn't know. I need to go through and fix that. I could do with them being 12 hours again, but... At this point, to be honest, I'm actually quite happy with them being 48 hours. As it means I can... there is it's on my realm, like I said, it's literally nothing more than big goblins playing the game right now in the legendary market. There's a few people that are trying to get up and into it, but actually having 48-hour listings is working in my favour in a fashion, because it's meaning that I'm holding the prices at like barely profitable. Do you feel like Wednesday is going to be the biggest goal making day so far? It's got the potential to be. If you look at the, I mean, yeah, it's definitely got the potential to be. Put it this way, it's going to be the first day where every single legendary at every single rank is potentially in demand. So it could in theory be 30% bigger, if not more, than what it was a week or so ago. The opportunity is definitely there for it to be a big day. I bet money on it being less than raid night first night. Yeah, there's little that tops raid release night. Something really special has to happen for that to be the case. But I still think that it's got the potential to be pretty big tomorrow. Needless to say, tomorrow we will probably be doing 2 streams tomorrow. Ooh, we're selling stuff. Tomorrow will likely be a 2-stream day, so that we can stream the evenings chaos. What are we selling? Grimveld robe, 9k. It'll do. Honestly, I tend to find that it's the people that have got the stock available for these days that go mental. I know for a fact that I don't hold anywhere near as much inventory as I probably should do for those days, because I still actually have to look at recrafting on those days for the most part, because I only hold 2. I just go like spaghetti at the wall approach. I just hold 2 of every single legendary, rather than crafting like 4 or 5 of the ones that I know are hot sellers. I just keep 2 of everything in stock. I go with a very it's a very lazy approach, if I'm honest. But morning, Smitty. Welcome. Stocked up on 4,000 callous hides. Wish you luck. That's a fair amount. TSM idea, editable sound for each group sale. Yeah, I'd love that. There's actually a couple of add-ons you can download nowadays. I saw one the other day that looked quite funny. There's a Sheldon Cooper one that every time you make an auction house sound, it just goes bazinga, which I thought was quite cool. I'm sure it's very easy to customize or to code something like that if you know what you're doing with add-ons. I unfortunately have absolutely no idea what I'm doing with it, so... You can just go ahead and craft 20 Bone Shatter Helms. They sell faster than the crafting time. Well, this is it. Like, stuff that you know is going to be a hot seller, you can probably craft a whole bunch of. Oh, I've pulled a bunch of stuff. It's going to be quicker to kill it than it is to try and escape. just craft raw materials today, then turn them into items tomorrow based on what's good margins. Yeah, the last thing you really want to be doing tomorrow is actually crafting the base materials. You want to get that time sink out the way if possible, and on the basis right now that you should arguably be buying your materials either over the last couple of days or today at the very least, is where the materials are likely to be cheaper. If you start buying materials tomorrow, you're in a real bad state. Don't quote me on that when you see me buying materials tomorrow. Oh look, a multi-boxer. Tab targeting nice and slow. TSM already baits me with big sale numbers in the chat. Yeah, that's kind of frustrating. I'd almost wish that it just didn't do that. Like the default notification that you get of what is it? It basically turns around and tells you that your item of this has sold is basically the default thing that you get told. That's good enough for me. Telling me that the item is sold and then listing me a price and then for me to find out the price is wrong is yeah, it's another example for me of something where TSM is an add-on that is in theory there to make your life better, but in turn actually just is a headache. But I've been relatively public with my thoughts when it comes to TSM recently. I am less than impressed with how they've dealt with the add-on. Make heroes rest in your home. I thought it already was. Morning Manthieus, coffee almost ready. Love the stream. Thank you Martin, appreciate it. Shout out to you. Got my coffee on the go. I'm starting to feel slightly human, should we say. By the way, would you sell rank 4 necks even at a loss, considering the neck essences are a byproduct when prospecting for ring essences? It's your shout. It's your shout. It's one of those that if you can do that, and in some cases it's like I said, the trick with jewel crafting is finding a way to use all of the products that you get from prospecting. If that means you can't look at any one item and attach a value to it. You have to go right back to the beginning. And you have to go right back to the beginning of, well, how much did it cost you to buy that ore in the first place? If the price that you sell the rings for added to the price that you sell the necks for, added to whatever gold you're able to pull in from the raw gems, if you add all of that together and you come out with a number that was greater than what you put in, then yeah, sure, it's sensible. Because that's the whole goal, right? Why is it you will automatically accept this quest? Huh, okay, well, I haven't. Huh, okay. Maybe because it's a world quest right now? That's probably why. So yeah, sometimes it is if you focus too much on what is profitable, you're looking too narrow. Often you need to look a lot broader, and jewel crafting is exactly one of those, which is why, like I said, jewel crafting is all about maximizing the use of every item that you gain from prospecting. If you can do that and make more than you put in, then you win. That's the real game with jewel crafting. So is this just a world quest that is going to be... It is. Well, if that's the case, I'm just going to stand here and kill things. Jeez, I've got to kill a lot of these things for this one world quest. Holy damn. Picked up Bolt Cloth for about 1 gold yesterday. Spent the day watching Netflix and making soul dust. Yeah, I wish I had the time to make soul dust. This is why I should be in the 3 account club, realistically. Having 3 accounts running right now would be very, very sensible. 1 for crafting, one for auctioning, 1 for playing. Because honestly, right now, I basically pay double for my soul dust than I should do. But there are still people out there. In theory, there's still people out there who are buying the enchanted materials off the auction house. So I still know by the fact that I have an enchanter and I'm actually making my enchanted materials myself for the most part that I'm ahead of the game in somewhat. But if I was truly min-maxing the price, then yeah, I'd be crafting all my soul ash or soul dust myself as well. Oh, these dudes are skinnable. He said the thing. 3 accounts for the win. Yeah, it's kind of stupid because technically I have 3 accounts, so it's almost no reason why I shouldn't be doing it. But ooh, treasure chest. We like us some treasure chest. Although when I say I've got 3 accounts, I've got 6 Battle for Azeroth accounts. I've only got 2 Shadowlands accounts. So I'd need to get another copy of Shadowlands, technically. Made shards was better money on your server? Probably. But it's actually the soul dust that I need. I only need the shards if I'm doing enchants. Oh, we dinged. Nice. Ah, and my Fallen Disciple's cloak was not epic. That's a shame. Well, on that basis then, wow, we've still got heirloom cape. Oh dear, we're still running around in an heirloom cape. Right, well, yeah, I guess we'll just equip that then, because whilst it's BOE, it's probably not worth selling it. No need to craft your own soul dust. Oh, I mean, I can literally always buy it. But where I know full well that it's craftable at about 10 gold a piece, I usually have to pay at least 15 gold each on the auction house. So I know full well that I have to pay at least a little bit of a premium for the fact that somebody else has done the hard work. But like with most crafting, that's kind of just, you know, it's how that's how the system works. Hang on, there's dudes all over the place here. We've got free skins. Yoink. My gold value is about 4,000 USD in Blizzard balance. Well, this is the only thing that concerns me, is like, whilst I think Blizzard would probably say overall the crafting for the legendaries has been somewhat of a success, I don't think Blizzard are ever going to be happy that somebody has got that much individual gold. Because that's 4,000, like, as far as Blizzard's, like, high up people are going to see it, high up people are just going to see that as $4,000 that player is not potentially spending on the game. Why are these things hitting me so hard? What's going on? How the hell did that small little pawn kill me? Is one of these dudes, like, super strong? They are very happy about it. I suppose in theory, well, I don't know, but are they really? Someone else paid that 4,000 to Blizzard, and the tokens cost more. I suppose there's that. I suppose there is that theory that what comes around goes around. That gold is already probably yeah, but they haven't. They haven't paid that since the gold was probably just generated in the game anyway. Like, tokens don't produce gold. That gold has come from... There's only one place that gold has come from, and that's in the game already. Is this dude a skin already? He's not, no. Right, so it's still telling us to do this Moldraxi eviction notice. I thought, like, maybe that's just not a thing at the moment because of this world quest. Maybe we'll have to skip it. Come on, Zygor, you're letting me down. Usually you're so good with this sort of stuff. Collect a cultivated something or other, okay. Chance of a goblin spending $4,000 on Hearthstone cards is very small, but 100 people spending $40 on Legos made by that goblin, pretty reasonable. Well, that's kind of true. It's financially a dream for them. They make more money by people working for it in the game. Yeah, the token is something that fascinates me. It was such a... I mean, it's been used in other games previously. Let's make that apparent. Blizzard are not the first company to come up with this, like, token idea. But one thing that it has done is, although people don't necessarily believe it, it has stabilized the economy dramatically compared to what it was doing. Before the token came out, we were seeing like a 10% inflation, like virtually month on month, of gold in the game, and it was going to get to a point where gold was just actually worthless. There would be so much of it that it would basically be worthless. And so what the token did was link a real world currency, the US dollar, to the gold in game, and that alone meant, like, it's a stability post for the gold in game. It meant that there would always be this fluctuating. Well, if gold became too abundant, then you know you could trade it out for real world cash in essence. It's really difficult to describe exactly how it works, because I'm not like an economist, but it's fundamentally a very good thing for the balancing of the economy in the game as a whole. I'm not talking about any one individual example, but Bought like 40 tokens since Shadowlands. I can buy 110 more if I want. Own everything in the Blizzard store. When you say buying tokens, you're talking about buying them with gold in-game though, right? Yeah, I was going to say, that's... What a lot of people also don't realise is that they kind of have an understanding of that when you buy a token, that gold is going to another player. That other player has bought that token with real money and has got a value of gold from it. What a lot of people don't actually realise is that Blizzard do sit in the middle of that transaction. The gold that you get when you sell a token does not directly come from the person that bought it. Blizzard sit in the middle and they manage the value on either side. So that basically is because the reason I say that is because there's a common argument that the token doesn't generate any gold, it just moves it from one place to another, which at face value is the case, but the fact that Blizzard do sit in the middle and they do manage the values either end means that they do have control over that. While strictly speaking, no, it doesn't make gold or take gold out. There is a balancing act that's happening. Right, we've got to heal things, have we? That's going to be these dudes. WoW token at launch was 30k a token, Goblin's Dream. Yeah, I do remember that. We've got to kill a bunch. Oh no, we don't have to specifically kill those ones. Without tokens, Blizzard gets $13 to $15 per month from people. With tokens, Blizzard gets $20 per month instead. Yeah, that's it. It's a way of Blizzard allowing or basically increasing their overall revenue by letting the people that have money spend more money and allowing the people that don't have as much money or don't have the desire to spend as much money to get the same for less. It's very clever. It's very subtle, but it's very clever. If you have one price for everything and that price never fluctuates, you're limiting your market just to the people that think that that one price is valuable. Make that price fluid, and you can attract a lot more people. Kind of surprised the EU token price hasn't risen a huge amount. Yeah, I kind of am as well. It's obviously the fact that people are willing to just sit on all of the gold. They're not trading, they're not turning it into Blizzard balance. Even with the store sale, you would have thought that the token price would have gone up because of the store sale, but who knows? Can't turn it into Blizzard balance. Have to turn it into more hide. Well, that's it. Yeah, I suppose that's the case. Nobody's going to cash out all their gold until they've got all the callous hide that they need. That's probably quite true. It's very satirical, but it's very true. People are actually buying gear with real cash. Well, this is it. It's a way to... the token is a very subtle way of... I mean, people get really triggered when you use the term pay to win. But that arguably is what the token allows. Considering there is virtually nothing that you can't buy in-game with gold. Because you can always... like, you will always find a mythic guild that will be willing to sell you a boost for gold. So if you happen to have enough gold, then, well, hey presto, you can technically have access to virtually anything that you want. So it's a way for Blizzard to create a pay-to-win system without it technically being directly pay-to-win. They're not going to sell you the item. They're just going to sell you the currency to buy the item. It's a bit cheeky. And it's subtle enough for most people not to realise what's actually going on. You say pay to win, I say free to play. And that's the thing. Like there's a very subtle line between those two statements. Like if it's a solo player game, then technically you can use the argument free to play, but it's not a solo game, which means that there is an element of competition, so it falls more into the side of pay to win. But yeah, I do get it. How am I meant to kill this dude without getting killed myself? Oh, like that. Okay, sure. I'm totally fine with it though. It's easily achievable in game without paying. Well, this is it. Like this is why the World of Warcraft economy is one of the best examples of a living and breathing economy outside of the real world. Most games really struggle to create an economy of this nature where there isn't room for abuse, where there isn't a loose end somewhere that just basically breaks the whole system. Many games have tried to make, even Blizzard themselves have tried to make games with a living economy and have failed at it miserably. Like Diablo, what was it, Diablo 2 for example? Obviously people were trading items in Diablo 2, but eventually so much gold was produced in Diablo 2 that people stopped using gold as the currency and started using, what was it, the ring, the Stone of Jordan or something, as the currency. You would trade things based on that, and it's sort of similar if you look at Path of Exile as well. That whilst Path of Exile doesn't natively have a currency, they've used, what is it, Exalts, as a form of currency. SOJ, was it Stone of Jordan? Is that what it was called? I can't remember. But that it was in essence the fact that people used Stone of Jordans as a means of currency because gold had just hyperinflated to the point that it was worth nothing anymore because everybody just had too much of it. Whilst we are now still 15 years into the life of World of Warcraft, and gold is still very, very meaningful. I'm still running around like a madman completing Bastion Threads of Fate, but isn't this... Isn't this the one to say I've completed Bastion? I need to go back to Oribos and hand that quest in. Because I think I'm running around here like a fool for no real reason. Oh, I know why I'm doing it in Bastion, because I'm Kyrian. That's why. I wanted to complete everything in Bastion regardless. I remember why I'm doing this now. Any idea when my legendary operation working on my main group won't work on a single legendary when I do a specific setting? My legendary operation working on main group won't work on a single legendary when I do a specific setting. I don't fully understand the question. I did a copy and adjusted it, but it won't do what I tell it to. No idea. I'm usually not the best person to ask about operations in TSM. Whilst I have a better than average understanding of operations, I'm still not a wizard on them. Is my honest answer. Wonder how much gold the long boy took out the game? Probably less than you would imagine. As a percentage, anyway. As a percentage of all the gold that comes into the game and all of the gold that left the game, I would imagine the long boy is actually a very small percentage. Simply on the fact that most people snooze on the fact that the auction house is the biggest gold sink in the game by far. Like, by a country mile level of far. Because every single transaction in the auction house, 5% of that value just disappears out the game. I've donated over probably 5 million gold to the auction house, just this expand. Well, I mean, another example, look at Boreal Shards. What have I spent on a Boreal Shards? Like, crazy amounts I've spent on a Boreal Shards. Not even anywhere near as crazy as others, but just look at expenses and go a Boreal Shard. I've spent 4 million gold just on a Boreal Shards, which is basically a long boy. I genuinely don't think, although the long boy had a big price tag, I really don't think that it actually contributed much to the total amount of gold that left the system. It wouldn't surprise me if the auction house on a single server removes more than 5 million gold a day anyway. And there definitely wasn't one person a day buying a long boy, I don't think. Maybe towards the end of BFA there was, because they, you know, FOMO, fear of missing out, meant that a lot more people bought the long boy just because. But I genuinely don't think overall that it had much of an effect. Less than vendor materials in Shadowlands for sure. Well, yeah, they're exactly, yeah. Hang on, this dude is running around and he's level 60. I don't want to annoy him. If he wants to do his skinning, he can do his skinning. Oh, hang on, what am I meant to be doing? Picking up this dude. Stop fearing him, stupid person doing the thing. Keep chasing her until you can click her. Oh, okay. I get it. RTFM. Want to bet at least 500 million per server, going into the billions on full pup realms. Not saying it's more as auction house cut or what shards would go, but long boy is still a lot. Yeah, it's one of those. It definitely is a lot. I'm not going to discount the fact that every single person that bought the long boy dumped 5 million gold into getting it. But all I am saying is that as a percentage of the overall gold that left the game during the expansion, I think it was probably relatively minor. But unfortunately, we never find out these things, so it's purely guesswork. It'd be nice to know these things. It'd be really interesting to get a sneak peek into like the behind the scenes of the Blizzard economy. But I'm quite sure they keep that information under lock and key for a reason. No, I didn't mean to attack it, you fool. Idiot. Oh, now I've aggroed it. I've got to kill it. Sure. Longboy obtained by 4% of profiles, according to Wowhead. Yeah, it's interesting, that one. It's always difficult to. Oh, well, there we go. Gabby's just said that it only counts profiles that have linked with Wowhead. So it's an indication, but it's not reliable data. It's just a fair indication. This paladin is I'm wondering what he's going to do. Am I literally going to die to one of these? What's going on? Why is my health being zapped? What the hell happened there? Oh, that dude's thing was pounding on me. Alright, fair. I'm really not paying attention to what I'm doing. This is also a downside of using add-ons like Zygor to level. You completely take your focus off whatever it is you're doing. I wonder how much gold the yak mounts have removed from the game. That's an interesting one, actually. That's a very interesting one, because obviously, what is it? It's like 120k gold or something to buy it in the first place, but the amount of gold it's removed because of transmog is probably ridiculous. How do I get back to where I was? How do I get back to my corpse? This is really annoying. Ah, do I have to go all the way around? Can I not sneak up here somewhere? Honestly, the yak might have removed more. Wouldn't surprise me, you know. I mean, transmog is such a big part of this game nowadays. Whether you kind of like it or not. It's kind of forced upon you a lot. And it's difficult for me personally to gain an idea of it, because I do not give two hoots about transmog in the slightest. I couldn't care what my character looks like. Literally zero shits given when it comes to something like that. I don't think I've made a transmog set for any character ever. Or if I have, I've never put more than about 3.5 minutes of thought into it. It's just not a thing for me. Same here, clown suit for the win. Yeah, I literally have probably in my entire life put no more than about 3.5 minutes of thought into transmog on any character ever. It's just not something that does it for me. Also, the yak's been in since Pandaria. Well, that's true. It's been around a long time. I wonder if there's any. There must. I mean, obviously, there's got to be somebody that's actually in charge of the economy, developer-wise. It'd be interesting to find out who it is, because that would be a really interesting conversation to have with a Blizzard dev. I wonder how much they do actually, or what data points they can pull from. They must have like metrics telling them how much gold was created and how much gold left the game. I mean, surely they must tally all of that up. The fact that we get text log based information on everything we buy and sell indicates that it's recorded. If there's one in charge, I'd like to send my CV for that job. It's probably not an easy job. Like I said, many games of physical damage inflicted every 3 seconds. That's what was killing me. It's probably not an easy job. Like I said, many games have attempted to create these lifelike equivalent economies and have failed in the past. It's not a given that it's easy to do. Why do I not have... Oh, I just need to kill them and get the antlers now, okay. Hard or not, dream job, I suppose. If it was more lifelike, it would also be more crooked and corrupt. That's probably true. But I mean, when you got things like Gallywix kicking about, it's probably not far. I mean, there's still corruption. Oh, hang on, should be skinning these as well, shouldn't I? You better have a PhD in math for that job. I don't think you need a PhD in math for that job. I mean, you need to do you need to be able to run a spreadsheet or two, maybe, but chances are there isn't one. I think Want to Buy Gold commented that every expansion they just pick a random person from each random department to form a group to design professions. If they're not that serious enough on the professions, would they really be that serious on the economy as a whole? True. But it's very apparent that Blizzard have these big turning dials that they can twist and tune things with. It's very apparent that everything is somewhat linked so that they can make huge, big twisting adjustments on the fly. I would Want to Buy Gold, no. Well, that's also true. I'm sure he has reasonable insight. He's at least a prominent enough figure, and has been well known for voicing his opinion at BlizzCon and stuff. I'm sure he's probably had some one-on-one time with some of the devs, but oh, I was meant to click on a dude and he was meant to follow me, and I didn't. He didn't follow me. Oops. Where's the dude that was meant to be following me that hasn't followed me? It's not this dude, there's another one. Did I even go and collect him? Wasn't it the dude that was down here? Yeah, he's still over here. Come here, dude. Follow me. Alright, let me focus for a second, make sure I don't lose this dude. As he randomly malfunctions and stops following you. Just like that. No, what is it doing now? Now it is following me. Huh, got him all the way back. Nice. Did I make a mistake picking jewel crafting? Or will they get, like, epic jewel crafting only gems later? I don't know. Jewel crafting is an interesting one, as it is technically more complex than most of the other professions. I mean, at face value, it's very simple. You just break up some ore and then you make some rings and stuff and sell them. But the fact that the real trick with jewel crafting is making use of everything that you get from prospecting. That's where most people struggle. It requires a lot more time and attention to get it to properly work. I'd still say that jewel craft, if you're focused on jewel crafting, if jewel crafting is literally your main profession and you're not too concerned about any other profession, if you dedicate a good amount of time to jewel crafting, I reckon you can still make it to be pretty profitable even to this day. But I just know that I make considerably more gold much easier with some of the other professions right now, which is why my focus is not necessarily as much on jewel crafting as it was at the beginning. Oh no, I should have picked up that thing last. Can I just put that down? Now we get the anima barrel, because now we're slow. Was the callous hide drop rate changed recently? I mean, I've only got 24 hours of experience on this as it stands right now, because I took almost a week off over Christmas. But I haven't noticed anything that would indicate to me that there has been a drop rate change. I mean, if there was a drop rate change, it would have had a dramatic effect pretty quickly on the material price. Now, I'm expecting a material price change anyway, regardless of drop rate changes. People may try to put 2 and 2 together and come up with 4. They may see the price dropping on callous hide and just go, oh, the drop rate must have changed. But I'm not sure there's been anything. I've not seen anything to confirm nor deny it either way. Some zones were nerfed though, they no longer drop heavy callous hide, but callous hide still does. Once again though, if we got any actual categorical data on that being the case? Or is this still subjective? Has somebody just skinned in a zone for an hour and been unlucky and not got any heavy callous hide? I'm always skeptical to go by blind opinions on something. Right, we've got to kill this dude apparently. I'm not sure why, but my Demon Hunt is feeling really weak today. Whether it's just the fact that I'm leveling up and I'm not really getting any more gear, and I am just genuinely weaker, or whether it's, yeah, I don't know what's going on. Problem is that the ores are more valuable than, like, the blue gems, and then legendary neck or ring isn't profitable either. Well, there's no way that it's not possible that everything is not valuable. If that's the case, it just means that some people have been over prospecting and are dumping materials at a loss, which arguably shouldn't be the case. There has to be some value in it somewhere, otherwise people wouldn't have done it. Maybe it's because you're just standing there auto-attacking instead of... Okay, yeah, okay, there's an element of me not really actually focusing on what I'm doing, but sure. Why am I killing these things and not getting anything for it? Oh, there we go. There's a bunch of training gems. Why does it still say 0 out of 8 above their head when actually it's 5 out of 8? The game be busted. Boom, there we go. 8 for 8. Oh, go find me a gem, dude. I need one more gem. Thousands of uncut gems, no idea what to do with them. Well, this is a thing that it very quickly... It's interesting, because if one thing is profitable in many people's eyes, then what that usually leads to is that some other component of that prospecting is just like considered surplus to requirement, and that alone that alone tends to make it look to other people like, oh, this profession's just not profitable. Oh, the neck is selling for way under cost, it's not profitable. Oh, the raw gems are just being vendored, it's not profitable. But what they don't remember a lot of the time is that people are probably making a lot of profit somewhere else, and more than enough profit somewhere else for them to be able to just like get rid of those other items and not worry about it. Yeah, it's mainly the blue rings, I think. But you've got to be careful that, of course, they use zone-specific ore in its raw form. So, yeah, only on the assumption that it's usually I want to say the versatile ring is a popular one for disenchanting, as it uses, what is it, solanum ore, and there's not a huge amount of other reasons to be using anything else. Using it for anything else, should I say. Solanum is weird on my server, most expensive of them all. It's one that often gets reset. I see it quite, for some reason, I'm not entirely sure why, but I see it get reset kind of pretty often. And I can't understand the logic behind it, because, yeah, I'm not entirely sure why you would reset that specific ore, but it does. Oh, all these little things are skinnable. Oh no, they're skinnable, but they're not skinnable, kind of thing. It really annoys me when Blizzard do this. These dudes were obviously skinnable at one point, but then they were just being over-farmed, and so they were like, oh no, these can't be skinnable anymore. And so instead of just making them not skinnable, they still let you skin them, but they don't give you anything. Which in essence makes it pointless. Just make it not skinnable, Blizzard. It is confusing. People blocking shadow gas crafting. Well, that, yeah, I suppose that's probably some logical approach to it. I suppose. I suppose in theory as well, it might accidentally just get reset by people from time to time. From the, I mean, if I buy zone-specific ore, I tend to buy 1,000 or 2,000 of it at a time. I'm not buying like 10 or 15 of it. I'm literally buying it in 4-figure quantities each time. So maybe it just kind of accidentally gets reset or gets close to being reset, and then somebody just dives in and resets it anyway. Right, how many more of these things do we need to kill? A few more. Can you still gathering them all, being running around on my druid for 20 minutes, not finding a single thing? I think you've just had a very unlucky 20 minutes then. Kill one cloud feather great wing. That's the big one, right? Yeah, one of you. Hat tip on the add-on, very useful. Apparently the add-on's been updated today, which I need to have a look into still, actually. But I wasn't planning on this being a too heavily auction house basey stream. Yeah, trying to pin down where Wu is kind of difficult. Because when he says he's everywhere, he's literally everywhere. Oh, come on, more of these things needed. One more, one more, one more, one more, one more. Here we go. This is the one. This dude looks like he wants to... Whoa, what happened there? That was not the direction I was facing. This dude wants to give me an essence. Yes, he does. Excellent stuff. Just look for the woos and you'll see him creeping on it. Yeah. Any character with woo in the name. So I didn't mean to dox all of your characters on all of your servers, but it's kind of obvious. Oh, this is the one we got to fly through the hoops, right? Yeah. Fly through the hoops. Or the smoke rings. Where did they go? Ah, here's one. Ran out of smoke rings. I need 2 more. Oh, apparently you can just go through the same ones again. Welcome to Demon Hunter. Sometimes you just look like an idiot and fly off the ledge. Well, that's why if you're going to keep the... What is it? Is it called Fell Rush? What's the ability? Yeah, Fell Rush. Always keep 2 charges of Fell Rush. Just in case your first one is stupid. Ironically, none of my banks on my main realm have woo in the name. But the main ones and all the rest do, yeah. There we go. $58. Boom. Speedy now. Oh, I-beam got an increase. What increase did I-beam get? Oh, now it won't tell me, obviously, because I've already got it. Alright, sure. Ah, if you've dinged 60, yeah, if you've dinged 60 on a character without actually doing any quests, because you've done it through herbing and mining, then yeah, you probably need to do a whole bunch of the introductory quests before the maw will actually have anything in it. What? Oh, I need the dude. Oops. Right, I think he goes in the middle to begin with. He does. Boom. Skills. Someone went on a shopping spree over the weekend and bought out 15 of your uncanny gear. You're still trying to sell uncanny gear? That's interesting. I genuinely have not sold a single item that's not part of Shadowlands in Shadowlands. But yeah, it definitely is going to come to a point very quickly where starting to look on some of the old world stuff again will be kind of profitable. Sell it, restock it. I can't imagine standing at the scrapper though to get Expulsum anymore. That alone would just thinking of that gives me chills. Island Xmod gear went up nicely in value. Mounts have hardly moved. I'm very, very aware though that there'll be people on most realms that will have literally guild banks full of those mounts. Multiple accounts for the win. Well, yeah, that's very true. As I was speaking to one of the main goblins on my realm yesterday, and we were just casually mentioning what was selling and what was not, and they were saying that the BFA mounts they're still slowly selling, but yes, they're also saying the same thing, that they've not really gone up in value in any way. But they also then admitted to me that they've got like literally 100 of each one in a guild bank, so they've got tens of millions of gold worth of those mounts just sat there waiting to sell. Oh, now we're just running around picking up flight points, I think. Few flight points, few zone discovery EXPs. It's very nice being Alliance and getting... Oh no, I only get a 20% bonus at the moment. What's going on? Will all of the Alliance please please log off? I want my 30% bonus, please. Not used to having this lowly, pathetic 20% bonus just for being Alliance. $1.7 million BFA cloth to turn into braces and scrap? Holy smoke. Fire all of it off to... Well, yeah, at the end of BFA, I was sending a whole bunch of materials to different characters just to store them on. And a few days ago, I started getting those mails being returned back to me, meaning that I've obviously gone an entire month without logging on to that character. So I'm in a precarious place where I need to actually resend some of those materials back and do something with them, or I'm going to lose them all. Now, it sounded like we sold something in the background. What did we sell? A rank 2 Umberhide Waistguard. Let's do a quick cancel scan whilst we're flying. Most of my gold is sitting in items in some mailbox somewhere. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, forgetting to empty your mailboxes is dangerous. This is why I do my very best to not store anything in the mailbox. Like, literally, if you just need more storage space, just make a new guild. That way you don't lose anything. Because you never plan to take a break from the game. You plan to maybe take a few days off to play another game and then realise it's been 6 weeks you've been playing that other game, and then you log back on and you've lost everything. It's also a reason to why you should never have a level 1 bank alt. They should always be at least level 10. Because at least if they're level 10, Blizzard may actually help you get those items back. But if they're less than level 10, they won't do it. Got used to using mailboxes, guild banks, since guild banks were broken for 2 years. Yeah, I really wish. I mean, even now they're not what I would consider fixed. I do genuinely wish they would do something about it. Complete objectives in Bastion. Complete side quests, bonus objective, world quests, blah blah blah, X, Y, and Z. Use the Bastion Threads of Fate leveling guide to complete the side quests and discover flight paths. So literally everything we've done in Bastion, we've completed every single side quest in Bastion and still are only at 92% to completing it. That's mad. So I guess we do a couple of world quests in Bastion then. If there's a herbalism one, we might as well do that. That's nice and easy. We'll do all of them but the pet battle one. Go. Where did the arrow go? There we go. Yeah, they work again. It's just they're slow. That's the thing that annoys me about the guild banks. They're just hella slow. Just finished leveling in Threads. Best way to reach 60 is just by doing dungeons and world quests. I imagine that's probably the case, but considering that I was going Kyrian, I wanted to just like complete Bastion, all of the side quests, all of everything done in Bastion, so that it's just kind of done. Just so that the main zone of my chosen Covenant is like complete. It wasn't just slow on Silver Moon for BFA launch, it just didn't work. Well, yeah, true. Yeah, just literally not being able to transfer anything in and out of them was a bit of a shit show. But this is why we're not babysitting the auction house right now. Because literally, we've got 6 million gold worth of legendaries listed. Just nothing selling. Although it does appear that some of my competition is online right now. Crap, gotta go level a bank alt. Well, it will either take you about... It takes you either 10 minutes to get to level 10. Or, yeah, as has just been mentioned, just make a allied race instead. Don't have to babysit it when you can restock. Yes, yes, I'll get to the add-on in a minute. Cancel ping pong on Legos. That's basically the auction house today. Yeah, true. Used my free boost on Death Knight to get the Lego power from the world boss. Didn't realise I had to be 60 to see the world quest. Fastest leveling I've ever done. Oh yeah, because you'd have potentially had to wait another 4 weeks possibly to then get it. Oops. Well, this dude's 58. I imagine by the time we complete this, it's like half a level or something you get from completing these. So, ooh, a nightshade, yoink. I'll probably get this dude to 60 today. That'll be nice. That'll be, what will that be? That'll be 60 number 4, I think. Spar with a bunch of aspirants, okay, sure. Fight me, dude, fight me. Yo, okay. Challenge both of you? There's literally only one there. That'll be 2. Dark Iron Dwarfs have Portal to Stormwind in first quest, and run to Guildmaster to make a new guild. All of it takes about 5 minutes. It's pretty sensible. Do we need to kill these dudes? Probably. Currently tailoring enchanting. Currently tailoring enchanting. I was thinking of changing them for something that. No. I would never recommend changing your professions. This expansion especially is way too easy to level alts and way too easy to have professions. You don't need to be max level even for most professions. I would never recommend dropping a profession to pick up another one, regardless of how. Otherwise, you just get into this weird situation where you're trying to play the cookie cutter meta. It's not worth doing. It's honestly not worth doing. Just literally level up another character and get the professions on that one. There's many reasons to be able to play alts this expansion, so it's a much better decision to do that, I'd say. I mean, long term it will be so much more advantageous to you to have alts with those different professions on than it will be to just try and swap to whatever's hot. Oh, somebody's killing this dude. Yoink, let me get the tag. Did I get the tag? I think I did. Kill the dude in the middle. This dude doesn't get killed though. When it's a world quest, can we actually kill this dude? Does he still just like whoop our ass and then that's the mission over? Yeah, looks like it. There we go. It's kind of a bit sketchy to be left on like 0 health though. I found my problem with TSM from earlier. It's weird but non-logical. I can use my operation on all legendaries, but not rank 1 cloth specifically. Those are bugging for some reason. Okay. I'm not entirely sure what to suggest on that one. Now I could just complete this bonus objective, or I could just go do this world quest. Take the colossal core. Ah, assault on the vessel. Isn't this the quest that was meant to come up for me earlier and didn't? Am I going to go there again and it's not going to accept it? I don't know. No, it should do. It's a world quest. It should just work. 98%. We literally need to just do basically nothing, and we should be good. There we go. How do we charge said core? Kill enemies. We can do kill enemies. There we go, kill enemies. How many do we need to kill? Obviously more than that. I'm not entirely sure why I'm not just... I should, in theory, just level this guy solely by skinning, because that's really the main purpose for this dude. But I genuinely feel that now I've kind of got a few levels in, that it'll be more worthwhile to be level 60. And hey, another level 60, you know? Should always be good. That's my theory, at least. Isn't there meant to be... Oh, I was looking for some bar, and it's like literally right under my face. How am I dead? Ouch! I'm such a bad player. Terrible player. I am useless at this game sometimes. Something in here is wrecking me and I can't work out what it is. There we go, we're good. We'll just stick by these dudes. These dudes seem to be good. Aggro you, run away. Am I right in thinking it's about half a level when you complete one of these bolster, like one of the fill the bar things in the Threads of Fate? Or does it even tell you how much it's going to give you? No, it just calls it a campaign quest. It does, it's about half a level. Oh, okay. Right, there's the bar filmed. Now what do we do? Insert the colossal core. And then we wreck face. Oh, it does tell you just can't click on stuff in combat. That would make more sense. Oh yeah, 85,000, there we go. That's a fair chunk of change. Boom! Button officially pushed. You tried the add-on GSE, it's for macros, one button to do a rotation. I've heard of it, I've not actually used it. Wait till 59 to submit for 3/4 of a bar from 4. I'm not sure I understand. I mean, I'm 58 now. Oh, fuck off. He's literally making sure he gets the tag on it. Fine, you polymorphed me. You take the tag. Oh, the amount of experience you get scales up with... Oh, I see, I see. Time to start on the water. My coffee's gone cold. It doesn't necessarily say it'll give me renown, but it might do. Virtually anything you do in the game will give you renown unless you're near the cap. You completed. I got a renown off a dungeon, but like a leveling dungeon boss the other day. Boom! Speak to a dude in Oribos. Return to Hero's Rest in Bastion. Well, let's go hand these in then. We'll just see how much it gives us. It's probably a fair amount. Is it this dude? No, it's the dude that's hiding down here. Meh, it wasn't actually all that much at all, was it? Are you giving me a dog? Hi, dog. Dog and a dog toy. Don't trap a tail in the door. Right, now we can go and go back to Bastion. Turn this one in. Not Bastion, Oribos. Jesus, my brain. Now I've done basically everything in Bastion. I might just level up the rest of the way by just doing some skinning. That was the main thing I wanted to do, get all of the side quests, get all of that sort of stuff out of the way, so that when I'm 60, that it's just like, you know, rocking and rolling nice and quickly. While we're flying, let's do a cancel scan here. Did you change the background music playlist? No. No. I genuinely don't even hear it now, it's just white noise to me nowadays. It does nothing more than fill the void between me deciding to say something. I also keep the background music deliberately very quiet. So, I would actually probably imagine, unless you're using headphones, you probably can't even hear it. Because by nature of it being background music, that's literally all I want it to be. Using headphones, can't hear it? Really? That's interesting. And there definitely is background music. I didn't realise it was that quiet. It's deliberately meant to be subtle. It's not meant to be like boom boom disco disco. I don't think there is any background music. Oh wow, that's really interesting how many people like literally don't hear it. When it's definitely there, look. It's definitely there. Oh, we're selling some Umberhide stuff. This is exactly what we want. Feels like the party started. I never hear the music either. Like I said, I deliberately keep it quiet. For two reasons. One, it means that people can play their own music over the top of it, and it'll be absolutely fine. It just killed my ears. Yeah, well, I thought I needed to wake you all up a little bit. Can't watch Solheim or Student stream because of their loud boink boink music. That's the first time I've heard that music in a few weeks of vids or streams. It's always there, it's just always background subtle music. But yeah, I keep it quiet so that you can play your own music if you wish, without it affecting anything. New Year's resolution, find another copyright-free playlist? Maybe. Maybe. I don't do New Year's resolutions. There's no point me saying something that I'm genuinely just never going to do, so... You guys need your hearing tested. Maybe you'll just need some better headphones. Just saying. Hoping to catch you live. Finally made it. Great thanks to you for all the gold I've made. It's not much, but I made 2.7 mil now. And also doing the 10% in the guild bank thing. Hey, congrats, dude. Well done. I've not had a dream of crafting a Lego yet, but there was once I woke up with one of your tracks in my... Fair enough. Don't do New Year's resolutions either, been at 1080p for well over 10 years now. Boom! Ba-dum-tsh. Well, now we can either go do Moldraxus or Revendreth or just do skinning to get to 60 now. The decisions. We can go finish Ardenweld. Cannot decide. Or you can go do some restocking. Well, there is that. Should we, is the add-on updated? What are all these new numbers? Rank 1, profit, what? Rank 1, profit for rank 1, rank 2, profit for rank 2. Rank 3, profit for rank 3, rank 4, profit for rank 4. Okay. Am I assuming then that I need a new sheet? Oh no, I don't want all of this. So, this now, does it have everything, even if I don't have everything? Yeah, so Grimveiled Cape, 0000. And it's telling me there's profit on all of them. Where's it getting this profit from? But profit based on what pricing? Okay. It's DB min buyout. Okay. Is there a way to turn off the profit? I don't, yeah, I don't mean to piss on your hard work, but like, there's way too many numbers. I don't want the profit. Can I turn the profits off? Disable TSM, reload, print it, enable TSM again? Nah, not doing that. Okay. I mean, I can always do that. That works. At least that, yeah, so now it's showing every item, and it's showing me the ones that I genuinely have none of. This is definitely more useful than it was, that's for sure. Also, my spreadsheet has conditional formatting to give you more oversight on everything. Oh, okay, so you've made a specific spreadsheet for people to use as well? Ah, I see. That possibly would make more sense then. And the support for you've added support for Guildbank. You know what's really funny is on the basis of this, I cleaned out my guild bank and put it all in my regular bank just for that one purpose. I put all of my legendaries in my main bank. Alright, fine. Let's run a quick cancel scan before I do too much. I'm probably not actually going to do any restocking because I'm not too fussed. The sales are not happening today, but let's get all these listed back up on the auction house. Just because there's obviously a few people that are on playing, posting their stuff. It's interesting to me to see there's a few new names popping up. This Yahtzee dude. Either it's somebody's alt that I'm not aware of, but this dude has appeared pretty quickly, but he's turned up with like rank 3 leatherworking items, so it makes me think that this is probably just somebody's alt, or they've offloaded some of their posting to another character. It also doesn't seem to be populating all of the numbers correctly. Like Bone Shatter stuff, for example, I can see here that it's showing Bone Shatter arm guards. It's listing zeros all over the place for a lot of the things. Is that meant to be the way that it works? Because this is saying that I have 1 rank 1 arm guards and this is the profit on it, but it doesn't say anything for rank 2s or profits for rank 2s or anything like that. Is that literally the fact that there just isn't any on my auction house? I mean, that is entirely possible, to be fair. Bone Shatter arm guards. No, there's definitely 2 10s and 2 25s and even a 235. Yeah, there we go. This Yahtzee dude strolling in with 235 Bone Shatter arm guards. This has got to be somebody's alt. If you don't have an auctioning OP min or normal price, I don't really have anything to go by. Ah, okay. So it's using some of TSM's price sourcing. Okay. That makes more sense. That makes more sense. I think for me, the profit thing is probably a bonus to some people for sure, but the way that I deal with legendaries isn't based on profit anyway. My profit is... I don't craft based on profit, I sell based on profit. So I'm quite sure the profit aspect of each one is useful to some people. It's just not personally useful to me, the way that I deal with legendaries. But getting a nice number like this of exactly how many I've got is pretty handy. Although I don't totally agree with the numbers in this list. So I'm going to try again. Because maybe it was just Because for certain items, I know full well I've got a lot more than what that list was showing me a minute ago. It's using the minimum/normal prices from your posting operation. Okay, so if I don't have an item in it... Oh, okay. So then, yeah, it's not going to tell me the profit on stuff I can't craft. I see, that's probably why then. That's probably why then. I get it. I get it. Now it seems to be populating the right numbers. 29 Shadow Gas necklaces at rank 1. That sounds a lot more like what is actually the case. I didn't realise I had nearly 30 of them, but yeah, okay. I get it now. I get it. Now that seems to work kind of how I would like it, because it gives me an indication that, right, I cannot craft this, or this. Nor can I craft this, or this. Nor can I craft this, or this. But what I can craft, it works with. Okay. The Reddit post explains it, but it's not an interesting read on stream. Quite possibly. You can see with the Grim Veil stuff, the tailoring stuff, that I'm still relatively well stocked up on rank 1s and even up as far as rank 3s in just overflow stock that I need to burn through. But capes I've now sold out completely. That's kind of interesting. So this I can work with. This I can work with now. I don't think I need to make Shadow Gas necklaces ever again. I need to do a custom operation to just get rid of some of those. Having 29 rank 1 Shadow Gas necklaces is a bit ridiculous right now. I'm not sure why I've got 8 rank 1 Umberhide vests, because I don't remember powering that up to rank 2 in any way, shape or form. It's interesting to see it in this form. It's probably not interesting to anybody else though, so. But no, okay, I like this. If there's an option button somewhere that will allow me to go turn off profit, I would appreciate it, but don't go out of your way to do it, because I'm probably one of the very few that don't craft things based on profit. So for a lot of people that would be kind of helpful though. So kudos, well done. I like it. Who is the Bam? Where did he come from? Oh, it's cloth, it's fine. People can try and step into the cloth market if they wish. I'll just bully them out with aggressive cancelling and reposting, it's fine. You seem to have a solid foundation for the add-on. What a possible suggestion that would be, like I said, the big thing for me is not a case of knowing what I have is kind of useful, but what I actually really want to know is what I don't have. If there was an option to just like set a inventory level so that I could say that, right, I want 2 of everything, and instead of it telling me how much I have, only tell me the things I don't have. So then it's basically like creating a crafting list, in essence, to what TSM does. That is probably the most useful thing to me. But these, you've obviously got the foundation in place pretty well. And the fact, in fairness, you do call it a legendary stock tracker rather than a restock tracker, but true. I have that option built into my spreadsheet. Oh, should I just be using your spreadsheet, I think? You can just throw a conditional formatting on it to highlight which items have less than 2. Yeah, I know. But to use it, like, I was already using a spreadsheet. To then use an add-on to then use a spreadsheet as well isn't making it any simpler for me. I would almost like to be able to do it with just an add-on, without using the spreadsheet, you know. But it only highlights the items that are above your minimum profit margin. Oh, I see. Yeah, it's food for thought. Suggestions. Because realistically, I still feel that I would probably... This is absolutely no disrespect, because the add-on is definitely starting to look very useful. But I probably won't change the way that I restock. Simply because what I do is, I mean, I could import this list into a spreadsheet, then have it create something else that gives me a restock list separately. But for me, I still would probably use my personal restock list and just create a list of what I need to actually restock. I don't think it works perfectly in my scenario, but I imagine if somebody hadn't already done it this way, that it probably would work. But it's definitely it's definitely a good work in progress so far. I'll give you that. Like I said, I know literally nothing about how to develop these add-ons, so it's 120 times better than anything I could put together myself. So it's not criticism in any way, shape or form. It's just quite simply the fact that it probably at this point still doesn't work better for me than what my system is already. If every cell where you have less than 2, isn't that about as good as a relock as it gets for a spreadsheet? Well, yeah, kinda, but I just want the data that is useful to me, and the data that is useful to me is what I don't have in stock rather than what I do have in stock. Having to visually ignore everything that I do have in stock. Every cell less than 2 is highlighted. Possibly. But for me, it's still a case of that I'm having to use an add-on to then use a spreadsheet, when before I was just using a spreadsheet anyway. The fact that I can press a button and go paste into a spreadsheet means that if I heavily customize the spreadsheet, then maybe. Because like I said, the big thing for me is I don't care what I've got already. That's not what I'm trying to do when it comes to restock. When I'm coming to restock, I only want to know what I don't have. But like I said, my case scenario is different because I don't craft things based on profit. I craft everything and then I only sell it at a profit, which is a very different way than to what most people work on. Most people won't craft something if they don't see it being profitable, because that's kind of logical. but I know that once I've crafted everything and once I've paid for my inventory, that I'm only recrafting items that have sold, and I'm only selling things at a profit. So there was a big initial cost for me to pay for the inventory. I mean, there's 5 million gold worth of items on the auction house. In my mind, they are paid for already, and I will only recraft the ones that I sell, and I will only sell something at a profit. So I sell anything with at least a 1 copper profit, but I only restock when the profit margin is worth my time spent crafting. This is it. That is it's a very similar, but it's also a very different way of approaching it. I would rather list my items on the auction house and have it there on the auction house. Like a 1 copper, in my mind, there is literally no point selling something for 1 copper profit. I won't sell something unless I make 10% profit on it, and then and this is also why long term I tend not to deal with small items. This is why tailoring for me would be probably the last one that I would restock out of preference, because 10% profit on 1,000 gold is only 100, but 10% profit on 100,000 gold is considerably more, and that's where things scale for me. But like I said, I'm very aware that I tend to have a different approach to gold making to most. I consider it very much like business-esque, in terms of you stock the shelves with everything and you put a price of how much you want to sell it for, and then when it sells, you restock those shelves. What add-on are we talking about? The add-on is called Legendary Stock Tracker. It gives you the ability to basically, at the press of a button, get a list of all of your legendary items, and which you can then take this data, slap it in a spreadsheet, and it will tell you exactly how many of each legendary you've got and roughly what the profit is on each one of those items, so that you can then use that data for deciding what to craft and what not to craft. Ooh, these people are starting to get a little bit more active. I did say I didn't particularly want today's stream to be directly sat in the auction house cancel scanning, because, you know, I get that cancel scanning and reposting is not very interesting. It's interesting when I'm making 500,000 gold an hour by doing it, because it's interesting to see what sells, but we're not getting many or any sales right now because it's just not the right time of the week for things to be selling. Only just got into the legendaries yourself, have the next at rank 2, although all leveled with profit. Slow and steady. Slow and steady is the way to start for sure. If you're only just dipping your toe into the legendaries, then slow and steady is the way I would recommend. Going balls to the wall and dumping millions of gold into it at this point to power level things up is super risky. Right, is there a world quest? Is there a world quest up right now, which is promoting itself as a good one for skinning? Because I know there's a few of them that knock about. This one's probably not too bad. Oh, but it expires in 14 minutes, okay. Maybe not so much. Maybe not so much. Except the cloaks. The cloaks always sell. But yeah, you've got a big market for the cloak. On the same theory, well, the rings and necks fall into the same category theoretically, that they can be used by any class. I don't know. Maybe I'll just pick another zone. We've still got the Necrolord and the Manthieus to do. Maybe I'll just pick another zone. Or maybe we do some dungeon. Oh, I don't know. I'm so bad at this choosing what to do when it comes to legendaries. To legendaries, to leveling. Obviously, the coffee's not kicking in. Upvote on the restocking point. I take the same approach. It's not just Manthieus doing it this way. I mean, there's many. This is the thing. This is why add-ons are very subjectively useful to people, as people play the game in very different ways. How was my Christmas? Hope you had a good one. It was solid. It was chilling. It was relaxing. It's exactly what you want a Christmas to be. No stress, no drama. Just, you know, bit of family, bit of food. Definitely way too much drink. You know, all the good stuff. Now, do we go Moldraxxus? Let's go Moldraxxus. Good times. Exactly how a Christmas should be. Right, let's go leveling. Let's go Shadowlands. Let's go Threads of Fate Moldraxxus. That's the one. Go. Let's get this dude up to 60. That's what we need to do. Looking into how to properly make customizable settings and how to make a table inside a Blizzard window now. It's all complete wizard work as far as I'm concerned. I've got no idea how any of that stuff works. I do genuinely envy people that know how to do all this sort of stuff though. It's a very useful skill to have. Except avoid them like the plague. Is that this world event? The bonus objective. It is. It's the bonus objective. Cool. Try to add an option to only export data you're missing. I mean, that theoretically, that at least for me personally, that's the information that is key for me when it comes to something like that. I simply just would really like a list of all of the items that I don't have based on a threshold amount. So if I set it so that I want to keep 2 of every item in stock, it just tells me that, right, you need to craft 1 of these, 2 of these, 1 of these, 2 of these, and so on and so on. That's ultimately, that's the information that I'm after. If that can be obtainable by the press of a button rather than me actually kind of going through my inventory in the first place, then that's super valuable. Hey up, we're selling stuff. I can hear it. How would I like it displayed to me? Preferential. I don't even know. I mean, just literally some sort of, I don't know, some sort of grid. I don't know. Bone Shatter Pauldrons, rank 1, craft quantity 2, something like that. Just very simply, if I set it to I want, it would be really cool if it was dynamic, so that if I could then pick an item, add a rank, and say, right, well, I actually want 3 of these. So if there was an options menu where you could just do generically across, as much as I hate to say it, the way that TSM crafting works is kind of the way that I like it to work. And now I don't know if that's just because it's force of habit or not. But ultimately, it's kind of the fact that I can set an operation for an item in TSM and say I want X amount of them, and then it just gives me a restock list. That is literally the best case scenario for me. And like I said, it's probably because of just force of habit. That's how I've always used Trade Skill Master. Now, from a graphical UI point of view, I don't know exactly. And if I'm honest, I'm not entirely sure that it's sensible. I don't know. The issue you have is that we all are aware that TSM are doing this. They're just doing it very slowly, which is annoying. What I will feel quite bad about is if that you put all of this time and effort into doing something, and then TSM turns up with an update. And unfortunately, because of what TSM also offers, I will probably end up using that. Because if TSM crafting just worked, we wouldn't have this problem at all. I'm kind of thinking that telling you what you have in stock is an approach that would be better for you long term. Offering something similar but different would be probably the wise way to do it anyway. Which is why I'm offering you as much feedback as I can, but I don't necessarily suggest that you tailor the add-on around what my actual needs are, if that makes sense. How do I aid this place? Am I just literally killing things? I think I am just killing things in this zone, that's fine. An in-game list that you can drag around would be nice. I guess that's a good way of explaining it, yeah. Just a simple list that I can view, because obviously it's I use 2 accounts. I'll just have the list open somewhere and just, jump between them. Jesus, that was a big boom. I mean, in theory, TSM do need competition. If you make an add-on that's really good, that at the press of a button it just tells you. For me, an add-on where at the press of a button it tells you exactly how many you need to restock of each one, and is dynamically based upon how many you tell it that you want to restock, and it's customizable to the point where you can set different restock quantities for different items and ranks. Once set up, you just then press a button and it works. I mean, that is like a dream for most people that use add-ons. That's literally what people want add-ons to do. They want to be able to press a button and it works. Maybe set it up once, and then you're away to the races. Because let's not forget, add-ons are primarily used by people who are lazy or want to see more information than the Blizzard UI gives them for. It's a QOL, quality of life changes, that is why most people use add-ons. But yeah, I mean, go for it. Give TSM all of the competition you can, because they need competition. How do I have no health again all of a sudden? I'm not lazy, I'm smart, or at least that's what. Is that what your mummy tells you? Yeah, it's true though. They are slow. A part of that is because they have no competition. TSM, I don't wish to use the term lazy because I'm quite sure that they are working on it, but TSM have no incentive of doing anything at a pace faster than what they want to do it at. That's the nature of not having any competition in the market. Who is it who said that they'd like some famous entrepreneur dude once said that they'd rather hire a lazy person than a smart person because a lazy person will figure out how to do the job in the least amount of time, whereas a smart person might just make it complicated. Something to that degree, anyway. A lazy person will go out of their way to find the quickest and easiest way of doing something. Bill Gates sounds very Bill Gatesy. Yeah, well, one of those big Donnies probably said something like that. It was a while back though, so it wasn't Bezos. He's way too new school for be saying intelligent things like that. It probably was Bill Gates because it's Manthieus 2020. Yeah, of course. I think it was linked to development, so it was Kanye. yeah, with all his wise words. God, can you imagine? The whole Kanye for president thing, that was just genius. Where are we at? 61% still. God, this is taking longer. I tell you what, one thing I have noticed in Shadowlands, and it's like I said, it's entirely by design, but bonus objectives, world quests, all of that sort of stuff takes so much longer now. Like literally, you can spend 20 minutes doing a single bonus objective. Which, if they were actually more interesting, I wouldn't mind. But when every bonus objective is just, and most world quests are still the same format, they're still quite literally kill X amount of mobs, and all they've done to make them take longer is increase the amount of mobs you have to kill. I mean, it would be nice if there was more structure to them and that was the reason they took longer, but if I was to give Blizzard any criticism on their decision to make things take longer, I mean, it's not like me to criticize Blizzard, you know. Constructive feedback, I think, is the phrase that should be used. I usually take longer to find the smart and easy way than just doing it willy-nilly and getting it done. That's like literally by definition the way that Trade Skill Master works. Because in theory, Trade Skill Master is one of those that, right, well, you set it up once and then it's just done. So there's an initial setup time, which people are aware of, that it's going to take a bit of time to set up TSM. But in theory, it should be there to, you know, save you time long term. But then ultimately, all you do is spend half of your life tweaking and setting things up constantly. Like people that use TSM a lot will often say that there's literally TSM's work is never done. Hello. This, boys and girls, is why you got to find yourself a good wife. Because it is sushi time. Oh my god, I'm dying though. which means we need to get to a safe spot so we can eat some sushi. Find me a safe spot. It's not so much just a safe spot, but just as a place to. This will do. This looks like home. We'll log out there. We'll go do some auctioning stuff. For me, almost all the effort in gold making is up front. Getting it systemized. Once it's done, it's just clicking a few buttons and waiting. This for me is what generally this is the reason I get. I tend to get bored of gold making very quickly once I've set everything up. Because for me, the fun part of it is setting it up, which is kind of weird. Which is why I'm kind of concerned that when I get to the point where I've got rank 4s and everything, and literally all I am doing is restocking and posting and cancel scanning, that I know will get boring very quickly. But since I'm still in this kind of like leveling up, I don't know, it's weird. I'm kind of concerned that once I get rank 4s across the board, I might get bored with legendaries super fast. Which is cool, because I need to get bored of it pretty quickly, because I want to actually play the game. It was Bill Gates that said that. I assume you're referring to the hire a lazy person rather than a smart person comment. It sounds something that old Billy Gates would say. Now, how do I get into my sushi box this time? Here we go. Yummy, yummy. Have we got a preach video or something we can watch maybe? Maybe that's the solution for 10 minutes. Preach ain't gonna mind me watching his videos. He doesn't make his videos are demonetized in the first place. Bill Gates also said the sushi wife part. Oh, okay, fair enough. Hey. Wise man, that Bill Gates dude. That's got to be said. I think I've definitely put way too much wasabi on this though. I don't think we're going to have a Doritos kind of level of dying, but I think I put way too much wasabi on that one. We'll see how it goes. Auctioning, run post scan, go. Let's check the old subs. Let's see if there's anything that's that Zakrad dude has got concerns regarding Twitch. That's going to be an interesting one. It's 25 minutes though. Rewarding or unrewarding? Have I not watched this one? Is there a preach video I've not watched? Is it possible? Is it possible there's a preach video I've not watched? How did this slip through the net? Has anybody watched this? He'll be begging for rank 5s in a few weeks probably. There's genuinely a preach video I've not watched. Right. Let's turn the music off. The music that you guys can't hear anyway. We'll be a bit of a react, Andy. Hopefully preach won't mind.
Found something more rewarding than M+.
That does genuinely look more rewarding than Mythic Plus. I ain't gonna lie. I genuinely would love one of those.
Today we're talking about gear, and this is always going to rub people the wrong way, because no matter what happens, nobody's going to be happy. But one thing
Nobody's ever happy.
Gear is causing problems in the Shadowlands, and not unexpectedly so. It was one of the biggest changes coming in, and we made people aware of it, yet now we're in the reality, people are starting to find it to be very, very unrewarding to do certain things, and that's causing them to simply not do those things. Blizzard went out of their way this time to make sure certain things couldn't happen. They intentionally dropped the item level of Mythic Plus so that heroic raiders...
Hang on, just ever so quickly. The audio is it still too low? I can up it some more.
Could not trade any gear amongst themselves. They didn't want people any...
You want large cam on sushi reaction? Oh Jesus, you people. You people, there we go. Was it not meant to be the case though that Blizzard wanted to keep parts of the game like optional? Like this whole kind of hang on. Whatever, we'll watch the video. Oh Jesus, we're not going that big.
More to be able to gear up via Mythic Plus, then go into raiding and be able to pass certain items around. They wanted to reduce the amount of items you get. They then nerfed the amount of loot that raids dropped after the game went live in order to, once again, reduce the amount of items you guys can get. Then, during the World First race, which finally concluded, we saw that heroic split raiding was the absolute forefront of a lot of plays that those guilds did, organising individual runs for one singular player. And
but isn't this kind of the point though? Wasn't there meant to be like a huge like mindset change of how you play the game? That like you're not necessarily going to get rewarded for doing everything, but the rewards may be different. But I kind of get that Mythic Plus is a mode of the game to where it should be rewarding. Doing greater difficulty Mythic Pluses should be more rewarding.
Buying in so many traders to try and ensure that that person could get those items.
This is what we were talking about yesterday with Limit.
What we can say is if you are progress minded or you care about your character, gear is more important than ever. Every time you get an upgrade, it's tangible. You do feel it. And I will say honestly, as a pro,
that's actually really fun.
This system, I care what bosses drop again. I'm interested to see when I click that loot, that corpse, what is going to be on it. Will I get my weapon this week? Will I not? And then if I don't, I feel, next week. I haven't felt that way in a very long time. However, many other areas are, of course, deeply...
This is coming from Preach, who has for years and years and years says he doesn't care about loot. And the reason he doesn't care about loot is because it just comes to him naturally. Now it doesn't come to him naturally. He cares about loot again. This means that Blizzard are doing a good thing.
Deeply hurt, especially if you are on the more casual side. Mythic Plus has never felt as unrewarding as it does now. It's actually painful. Certainly if you are grinding, say, 14s and 15s to try and get the best...
Did you hear the word he used, though? Grinding? Nobody wants to grind a game.
Possible items. Some of those runs are really, really hard. And if you are doing something like your one Mythic Plus a week that you have time for because of your outside obligations, you might end up with 35 anima. Now, Blizzard knew this. They absolutely knew this, which is why the Great Vault was such a...
I can chew a lot louder if you want me to.
A mystery to them, I think. We talked about it in a couple of videos during the alpha and the beta, is that the Great Vault potentially could have offset absolutely everything by providing players with a choice of up to 9 different items.
I genuinely have not opened the Great Vault yet.
That a player within 9 weeks could do one mythic
I've not done anything.
A bit of a raid boss, and then get absolutely BIS gear from that very, very quickly. And I'm not talking about close to BIS or Titanforge BIS where it was kind of like, well, there's still room for improvement. They could get absolutely idyllic items very, very quickly because they were presented with so much choice. And I think Blizzard was terrified. They were terrified that the Great Vault could provide such rewards, meaning players were able to just be done with their characters very quickly.
oh no, boo-hoo, we can play a game for 9 weeks and be done with it. I get what Preach is at right now, but the fact that it's ludicrous that a company like Blizzard would think that you can play a game for 9 weeks and not be done with it. Now, I know it's an MMO, but Jesus.
Who that all means, and therefore everything else had to be dropped around it. Some of it maliciously, which I do believe the Heroic and Mythic Plus item level changes were done maliciously. Has that paid off? Depends who you are. RNG is RNG. Some people, like me, did get their weapon from the Great Vault. However, other people getting 9 choices every week have managed to get things that the best item in there duplicates where their legendary is and therefore is useless. They've had this...
Hey, the duplicates on legendaries? Hey, it's fine, don't worry, we got you. We'll sell you another legendary. Not a problem. Shush.
Same sort of items they already have appear in there, and some of them have just had no good, worthwhile rewards from the Great Vault at all. And that was always going to be the case with a still RNG-based system. But that's not my big issue here. I actually think Blizzard is toying around with gear right now. And I do believe over the course of the Shadowlands, it's going to change. This is going to be one of the things that they're going to be tweaking around. Maybe we should add another item to M+. Please God, do that, because I'll be honest with you guys, and I don't know how you guys feel, I play with some wonderful, wonderful players of this game. And when they suggest, does anybody want to go for an M+ spam to get some gear? Now, in this week, not really. I kind of just want to get the weekly done and then ease off.
I think this is maybe like an issue that Blizzard comes into a lot in terms of the fact that they push something to one extreme and their initial reaction to try and fix it is to push it to the other extreme. And I think we're in that case. BFA was an expansion where loot just literally rained from the skies from every angle. And it felt a bit sort of Diablo-y in terms of the fact that you just got so much loot. The exception to that being the Azerite gear early days, but for the most part, loot just rained from the sky constantly. And now we're into Shadowlands, and they've gone to the extreme other end of the scale, making every single piece of loot that you get kind of rare. And they probably do need to find a balance in the middle somewhere.
Off a little bit, because 35 anima, some of these runs are costing thousands of gold. If you're doing some of the harder runs where you're pushing potions and things like that, you're paying maybe up to 6,000 to 7,000 gold for a run. That can happen. And you're getting 35 anima out of it? Not so much. Now, we'll come back to that, because there is a simple way to solve it. And as I said, I think...
The simple way to solve it is to make it fun. Then people don't care what the rewards are if it's fun. Do I need to spend 6,000-7,000 gold to try and defeat a mythic plus 15? If it's fun, I'll do it. If it's not fun, I'm not going to bother. Incoming mythic plus vendor. Hey, maybe.
Blizzard is kind of toying around with what the reaction is. Some people are saying it's based on Classic, and this is where I do think Blizzard missed a trick. In Classic, raid or die was the mantra. Now, what people mean by raid or die is if you really want to upgrade your character, you need to raid. That's the only way you can get it done. Outside of that, there's nothing much to do. But that's not even entirely true, and a lot of Classic players will tell you this. What Blizzard did cleverly, and they learned towards the end of Classic that this is a good thing, is they gave some alternative paths to decent gearing which people could take part in outside of that organised raid environment.
By the end of the expansion, though, that's the key. Like, this is literally the first patch of the game. People should not be showered with loot or be given 20 different ways to get the best gear in the game. Literally, the game should be the game. Like, this is the raid, this is the hardest content, this is where the hardest stuff comes from. It kind of sucks for people that don't like raiding, but if you don't like raiding, then you probably don't need the best gear at the same time. It's symbiotic in that respect, I think.
Shadowlands has none of that, and I think that's really where they missed a trick. We are currently in the environment, which I would honestly agree, we are kind of in a raid or die environment. Even if you spam Mythic Plus endlessly and get the best gear you can get from there, it's still not great. For the amount of effort and content and difficulty you're dealing with, it's not particularly rewarding. It's not. You would rather be heroic raiding or mythic raiding. It's as simple as that. That's just the nature of how...
Not if you don't enjoy raiding, though. I agree with 95% of stuff that Preach talks about, but one thing that he openly admits right now has got to be the fact that his focus is so heavily on raiding and best in slot bis that he will heavily go out of his way to get that over the enjoyment of the game in the first place. If you enjoy Mythic Plus, then if you get an upgrade from Mythic Plus, it's an upgrade for you. Just because there is better somewhere else shouldn't take away from the fact that it is still technically an upgrade for you.
How it is right now. You can gear up from your Great Vault, but that's a one and done dopamine hit on a reset day. It's not particularly fun to do so. What can you do outside of M+ and raiding? Well, you can PvP, but you're not going to get the good stuff.
You can craft legendaries
Until you get very, very good at it. Now, the argument is always going to exist that the absolute most difficult and the highest skilled content in an RPG should reward the best stuff. I happen to agree with that, but that doesn't mean that the difference between that and everyone else should be astronomical. That doesn't make sense to me. That doesn't make sense to me at all. I think people should be able to chase stuff as very high. Probably not to the mythic level or to the absolute best level, but pretty close. To the point where they're not squashed by those players. I think that's a good line. If you're getting squashed by somebody because they mythic raid and you only heroic raid, or you do mythic plus at the highest level, that doesn't make sense to me. A lot of those dungeons are extremely difficult.
PvP is an odd one though, and this is a topic of conversation that I genuinely feel that the fact that Blizzard have tried to, I don't know, I genuinely think that it wouldn't be out of the realms of possibility for PvP to have I don't PvP, so don't take this too seriously, but I think when you go into a battleground, it shouldn't matter what gear you're wearing. All of your gear should just be normalized entirely for PvP. The problem is they want to try and create a progression path in PvP, and that progression path is still gear. I think they should change it so that you have a different skill set. You have completely, everybody wears exactly the same gear and it's entirely based on skill. Because that is in essence what PvP is. The fact that Blizzard always try and make them sort of interlink and combine in some way, I think is just overcomplicating it. If you enjoy PvP, what you enjoy is the element of PvP. If you enjoy going into a PvP battleground with super high level gear and just shitting on people, then you're not necessarily enjoying the PvP, you're enjoying obliterating people. That's something different, but Blizzard can never get scaling right. No, they can never get scaling right. It should be that you go into a battleground, and regardless of what gear that you have got from any other source in the game, PvP should be its own mode. That everybody has default gear, like what they do on arena tournaments, tournament realms. Exactly. That I think the fact that they try and make it so that because why do they need to balance? They don't need to balance. PvP is an entirely separate game mode. It's all instanced. It's entirely separate. World PvP is different, obviously, but I genuinely don't see why Blizzard feel the need to constantly make it so that, if you get gear from here, you can use it here, but then if this gear is too powerful, then then we've got to rebalance this. And it's like they're just making their own problems for themselves. Seems odd.
And the same with PvP. Once you start playing at the highest levels, it gets very, very complicated, and you need to do a lot of stuff.
But the outgearing and smashing noobs can be the world PvP. You can literally go to the other faction's home base and just pew people if that's what you enjoy, and just smash noobs. Just the fact that there isn't a instanced zone where you can do that, I don't know. I've never agreed with that.
They shouldn't be too far away if you just want to gear up and you're not quite as good as those guys. I think that's totally fair. But right now in the Shadowlands, there's nothing to get outside of those environments. Nothing worthwhile. We have renowned sets, which are 50 item levels below getting mythic quality gear, and they're gated by time on doing your renown. Now, that will ease up over time, but it's still not good gear. Heroic dungeons, M+.
It's good gear though, if you don't raid or M+. It's it's good relatively, and this is what I think a lot of the conversation forgets. That there's the relative aspect of it. Like, if you raid, yeah, the renowned gear set is dog shit compared to raiding gear. But then you do something, but then you're raiding. Like, if people don't raid, then the renowned gear could still technically be an upgrade system for you. It's a way for a different type of person to play the game.
Plus, that's it. There's nothing. There's nothing for people to chase outside of some sort of organised content. Now, I know it's an MMO, and are you being hypocritical? No. There's a line to be drawn, because I'm also not saying that things like gaining gems should give you mythic quality gear like we saw in Najatar. That was ridiculous as well. There's a line to be drawn in the middle.
Gaining gems should give you mythic quality. Oh, the benthic lottery, okay.
Chasing some of those epic items down, some of the crafting you could do, especially in the Burning Crusade. Professions are woefully useless in the Shadowlands, and they shouldn't be. Chasing all these things down that you could do on your own if you want to and get you really good stuff, maybe not the best stuff, is worthwhile. If it takes some effort and it takes you on a different journey, that's fine. We have legendary items in the Shadowlands. Now, the legendary system,
yeah, we do,
encapsulated within itself, is really good.
Yeah, it is.
System. We're looking to start crafting off pieces if you want to. As long as you get the effect, you don't need to upgrade the item level too high, and you can put your...
Whoa. Relax, Preach. Relax. Everybody needs a rank 4. Okay? Let's get it out there. Let's paint the narrative the way that benefits us. Everybody needs their rank 4s. Please go out and buy all of the rank 4s. Preferably off me.
Soul Ash elsewhere. The only issue with it, I would say, is the rather tedious Torghast grind. That's something I don't look forward to any week. And I love Torghast. I just don't like the way it's done for Soul Ash. That's the only difference. But outside of that, what can we do? What can the casual players do? Are they expected to grind M+? Because that's a big investment. They can maybe do 1, 2 a week. They're hoping for the Guild Vault and that's it. What can they do outside of that? World quests are completely useless. Even when they upgrade, they're still going to be useless compared to just doing like a basic M+. That's not going to be worthwhile either.
No, Manthieus, everybody needs at least 5 alts and each need their rank... Exactly, at least 5 alts and at least rank 4 legendary. If you haven't got rank 4 legendary, you are a scrub and you need to uninstall the game. Just please buy the rank 4 item off me.
And outside of that, there is nothing. I think Blizzard really missed a trick here in providing some stuff that's open world that's not as good, but is something people could go on. I would look to the tier 0.5 quests as a good entry into that, into Classic. When they brought them in, they were really popular. They boosted people up to a good, solid raid level without requiring too much effort outside of it. Badges and gems, upgrade systems are probably worthy of making a return. It's probably time they did that. If we look exclusively at...
No, Preach, no, it's not. This is the first patch of the game. I love this dude. I literally agree with 95% of what he says. No, we do not need, like, catch-up gear and mechanics already.
Dungeons.
We are 4 weeks into the expansion. Shit's meant to be difficult. Shit's meant to be rare.
And PvP, where they're taking up to 9 weeks to gather a full decent set of 200 gear doing PvP. If we look to those guys are doing potentially hours and hours, and I'm sure there's some people watching right now who've done maybe 10 plus dungeons and got nothing out of it but 35 anima. Those guys need some sort of backup. If this system is to remain, they need some sort of backup where they can either go and purchase something, because even if they didn't get the drop they wanted, they still worked towards something. That needs to take place. Or either the loot needs to go up in Mythic Plus, at least, so that it's worthwhile. Because right now, what I'm seeing, and I've spent hours and hours today browsing people's opinions, telling their horror stories, that they have run so many Mythic Plus dungeons and just got nothing worthwhile. And the only drop they got was the one they already had, or it was in a legendary slot, or it was just worse than what they already had in the first place. And they're doing it over and over again. It's got bad stats, and certainly the rating is in a similar scenario as I got a neck. It was just bad stats. That was the only drop I got. I couldn't trade it to anybody. All these early problems, which are early problems, and will.
But this is still the mindset of that loot should be raining from the skies. This is exactly what people were complaining about, that loot was raining from the skies, and it felt like you can't have both. You can't have every item that you obtain feeling good and have it raining from the skies. You physically cannot have both. You can get full 184 in 2 days just from random BGs. I run Mythic Plus for fun. Am I weird? I like hard content. And that's the thing. That people should be doing the harder Mythic Plus because it's fun. The reward should be a bonus. Oh, now I got a little bit extra gear. Now I can maybe do that. Instead of a Mythic Plus 10, maybe I can do a Mythic Plus 11. That's the fun aspect of it. The fact that it's compared to, oh, well, if I take that same gear and go into the raid, I'm still going to get slapped about. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Will alleviate in time, but it's still not going to be good. I'm sitting here. Gear is a problem. I'm feeling it myself. As I said, if I'm in a situation where I would rather do something else than play with my friends and do dungeons and maybe get some people some upgrades, because the chances of that happening are so ludicrously low, even if we play exceptionally well, I'm not interested. My friends aren't interested.
Because you're all Mythic Raiders.
And hope is waning on what should we do here. Are we going to just be farming Heroic and Mythic forever just to get some stuff up? And when it comes to alts, sure, the game is alt friendly. We can get our alts all caught up within a single week. We could be up to date with where our main characters are in terms of all the background stuff besides Torghast Solash. We can do that in a week. Shall we jump into Swim Plus for some fun? Is it worthwhile? Should we do an alt raid? Can I work on something else? And that's the feeling I'm seeing everywhere. Yeah. So we probably need some adjustment. But I'm not putting the stake in it yet. Blizzard's trying something, they're sciencing it, they're trying to figure it all out. And I do want to see what you guys got. Has your guild vault literally rendered nothing despite the fact that you've done so much stuff to unlock all those options? Or what is your feelings on this? Because what I'm seeing right now is obviously the people who are complaining. Perhaps there's a huge amount of you who are totally fine with the way things are.
Yep.
I'd love to hear from you. Bye, guys.
I genuinely feel, like I said, I agree with Preach in most circumstances, but I genuinely feel that it's kind of it's not it's really not an issue, because if you raid, that is if your primary focus is raiding, then you kill bosses drop loot. If your primary focus is Mythic Plus, you complete Mythic Pluses drop loot. If you primarily PvP, you do battlegrounds, you kill people, you get loot. I don't feel that all of those different options should be interchangeably linked in most cases. For the most part, I don't do raiding or Mythic Plus. I just play the game from a very casual point of view. But it's still interesting and fun for me to kind of like inch my way up the tree in terms of gearing. I think Preach's opinion is very much a 1% issue again. Yeah, not sure. The issue is that a plus 15 is often way harder than a heroic boss, but the gear is worse. But they don't need to be compared. They don't need to be comparable. If your only focus is to get the best gear in the game, then you do the thing that gives you the best gear in the game, which right now is the raid. If that's what your main focus is to get the best gear in the game, then you raid. Blizz, you've chosen that path by choosing to want the best gear in the game. if you enjoy Mythic Plus and you find Mythic Plus fun, then every time you get a new piece of gear from Mythic Plus, it's likely to be an upgrade to you. I don't see any problem with that. Am I weird? Is that wrong? I don't know. If you don't get an upgrade from your vault, even after you have all 9 options, it means that you already have pretty good gear. Well, yeah, true. True. You're probably already balling in gear. If your focus is high-end M+, now you have to raid in order to get the gear to be able to do it. But you don't. But you don't have to raid to get the gear. You're choosing to do the raid because it gives you better gear and it's a shortcut to higher-end M+. But that's because you're comparing yourself against others. I don't know. I knew any talk about gear was going to get me heated. I knew that from the start. Hang on, who's this? Hey, are you here? Who is this dude? Is this somebody going to be asking for a legendary? It is. Yeah, whatever. You won't get invited to higher M+ because your item level is too low to get an invite. Arguably, if you're doing the high M+, is you're doing it in an organised group anyway, I would assume. I think I'm with KA on this. The fact that it's really quite actually refreshing to have gear feel like something worthwhile to get. I honestly think that Preach is in a position, and a lot of people still have the same mindset from Shadowlands of that gear should just rain from the skies. And I couldn't have cared less about gear in BFA. Not in the slightest. Bad luck in dungeon can be really punishing. Did all 8 at M0 the first 2 weeks of Shadowlands, this week and last. Did 10 to get all 3 Great Vault rewards and still no weapon for our tank. Well, yeah. Sometimes that sucks, but that's... Maybe somebody else did the same thing and they didn't get the trinket that they were. I don't know. Gear always gets people riled up. Been asked by so many in /W for people who want me to craft tier 4s for a 10k fee. They get really upset when I say no. Yeah, people are always asking me to craft them rank 4s and I just end up ignoring them if I'm honest. With M+ max item level, you can now be like 215 or so. If others already have 220 plus, they can push higher keys as you aren't able to. Why does it matter what they can do? That's what I don't get. Like, surely there's no leaderboard system in M+. It's not like you're trying to top a leaderboard. Surely, like, it should be a personal achievement to be able to do a better M+. Because it's competitive, wow. If you can't compete, that's a problem. I guess that's where we disagree then, because I don't think it's competitive. I don't think Mythic Plus is competitive. But if you view, I can understand why if you view it in a competitive fashion, then yes, it's annoying when somebody else can step in and do something, do a higher key, just because they've done other content as well. Yeah, I can definitely see why that's annoying. But it's only competitive because people have made it competitive. That's why competitive eaters are so amusing. They do make a World Championships out of Mythic Plus. Well, that they do, but that is all right. Well, if you're taking it to that degree, then sure. But that's like comparing your Sunday League football to Premiership football. It's the same game, but it's really not. System was designed to be competitive because people wanted it to be, of course, and because Blizzard promised it would be. I guess. Yeah, I don't know. Gearing's always a touchy subject. My overall opinion, though, and in fairness, I've not really played the game in huge quantities, and I'm the first person to say I'm not a high-end raider or Mythic Pluser in any way, shape or form. I will dabble in it from time to time, but I do it as and when it's fun. I rarely do it because of any carrot on a stick kind of loot reward, but I'm very aware that people have different opinions on that. For me personally, though, it's kind of quite nice to like see a reward from, or see like it's not even the renowned gear, for example. The fact that you can get a piece, you can upgrade it, you can play with it. Loot seems to feel a bit more. The fact that they've removed some of the RNG stuff, like the Titan forging and whatever, means that if you are a Abyss list kind of player, you can focus on that if you wish, and you can get Abyss list and can be done. It's very difficult because everybody plays this in a different way, but my personal opinion on it right now is it's the first expansion, it's the first patch of a brand new expansion. Shit should be hard, stuff should be difficult, items should be rare. Do I think that everything should be balanced from one category of gameplay to another level? No. I think PvP has its own PvP reward system. Mythic Plus has its own Mythic Plus reward system. Raiding has its own raiding reward system. There should be a slight crossover in terms of the Great Vault, but I don't feel that like they should all. The rewards you get from one shouldn't be cast off against the rewards you get up from another. If you raid, you get raid gear. If you do Mythic Plus, you get Mythic Plus gear. Yes, you can take your gear into the others. That's the nature of an RPG, but balancing the entire system as one, it's not worth doing. Can still proc with a socket or tertiary stats. Well, that's true. But they're two items that make so little difference in comparison to getting an item level that was just 15 item level stronger because it was Titan forged at complete random. You can still, in theory, grind the more and add sockets. So at least 50% of that is accountable by the fact that if it doesn't have a socket, you can add a socket onto it. And tertiary stats like speed and leech and stuff doesn't make a blind bit of difference for the most part. But anyway, let's get back to what I am good at, making gold. I knew if I watched a video about loot, then it was going to cause some chaos. But I enjoy a good conversation. It's really interesting to hear like a multitude of different people's opinions on it. Heading into podcast mobile mode. Have a good day. Smash the like button. Catch you later, Jaws. Maybe they should make it so loot does rain from the skies. Really, really good loot, meaning that everybody has to repurchase and re-level up their legendary. And then I win. Now, I'm probably the least qualified person to talk about loot in the first place, because we're 4 weeks into the game and I've barely touched a single. I've barely touched a single item of endgame content. Aside from leveling a few characters, I have basically not played the game yet, so I am in no way qualified to really even talk about loot, but nothing but tailoring gear selling. Rank 4 shoulders though, 30k. They're nice and tasty. There's a good 10k profit on those. Patch 9.1, you can now wear as many legendaries as you want. Oh, ka-ching! Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Oh, that would be beautiful. That would be beautiful. Heavy callous hide would be 10k a piece. Instantly. Instantly. Oh, that's funny. The dream. The dream. What is it? What is the price of heavy callous hide right now? For reference, 1500 gold. I was hoping to have made a few more sales today, if I was honest, because I don't have many materials stocked up ready for tomorrow. I have inventory, but I don't have many materials. Week 1 hotfix, Soul Ash no longer needed to craft legendaries. Oh boy, oh boy. I was about to start crafting some cloth legendaries, but somebody reset the silk market to 280 gold. Yeah, that tends to happen on a Tuesday. Resets tend to happen on a Tuesday, material wise, or at least they have for the last few weeks. It's not happened here yet on silk. Somebody reset a bunch of the markets on Sunday night, which I thought was pretty bold of them to do, but they bounced back to normal point yesterday. Oh, I've been disconnected again. Well, on that note, boys and girls, I think I'm going to leave it there for today. We'll be doing a double stream tomorrow. 2 streams, so a morning stream and an evening stream tomorrow, because I think Wednesday is going to be a bit chaotic. We will, for the most part, probably spend most of the day in the auction house, so be aware of that, but we'll be doing, obviously, what we do best when we're in the auction house and having a good old discussion about gold making and all of that good fun stuff. So, if you've enjoyed today's stream, boys and girls, please remember to hit the like button. It really does help the channel grow. If you're so inclined, you can always subscribe, but, you know, YouTube will tell you when my videos go out there anyway, even if you choose not to. So, yeah. One thing I am trying to push a little bit more, though, guys, is follow me on Twitter. This one. If you happen to use Twitter, make sure you follow me on Twitter, because any of my random non-streaming or video-related rants go out there. But there's often some quite good conversations we get going on Twitter as well. So, but boys and girls, there's a selfless promo over. I'm going to go and relax for a few hours, maybe put a video together for you guys. I've got a couple of videos I want to get done in the next few days. But otherwise, I'll see you boys and girls tomorrow. Peace.